So don't be hard on yourself. It's normal. It's actually easier to think the thoughts that you've been thinking than it is to think the thoughts you want to think. Someone said to us one day, Abraham, it feels like my thoughts are thinking me. And we said, that's because law of attraction is giving you only have access to the thoughts that are sort of kind of really in close relationship to the thoughts you're thinking. What goes wrong with so many of you is that you have these moments of connection, and then you have these moments where you're having a flashback to strong separation, and then you say to yourself, I should be over here. I shouldn't feel like this. Should I look at the sign? Should I not look at the sign? What should I do? How can I get over here where I belong? And we want you to stop saying, I need to jump over here, because it's not possible. Instead say, I'm putting my boat in the river here. What thought could I think that would give me relief? Because if you don't, take the thought of abuse and reach for a thought of relief and leave it in a different place, then that bugger stays over there right where you last left it. And every time you have an experience that reminds you of that, it's going to trigger you and take you back there. And then you're going to feel the separation between who you are. And you can go on like that for a very long time. Where if you feel it and don't like it, and then do something about it by reaching for a thought that feels slightly better, we love to see someone feel powerless over something and then find that breath of fresh air that revenge brings. Especially when they say consciously, I feel so much better. And the reason I feel better is because I deliberately chose a thought that made me feel better. In that moment, you've taken your power back. And in the moment you take your power back, you're not so upset about those abusers, because the only reason you've taken more, as much people, football players take abuse too, and they do it on purpose. It's not the physical abuse that is the scarring thing. It's the empowerment over you that made you feel that you didn't have power. And in the moment that you choose a thought that makes you feel better, you've taken your power back. And in the moment that you take some of your power back, and you know you did it deliberately, now you can reach for something that feels a little better, and now you can reach for something that feels a little better. And you're going to get so good at finding the relief and finding the relief that you won't cringe when you see something that triggers something. Instead, you'll say, oh, I remember that feeling, and I don't want it, and I'm glad that it has come up so that I can out into the light where I can see it. And while I'm driving here, I think I'm going to do something about it.
Of the 22 emotional scales that you've laid out, the one I avoid the most is revenge. And I've heard it all weekend, yesterday.
You know
as
why?
the one I avoid.
You know why? The reason you avoid it is because you, like almost everybody else, are not doing what you're doing to improve the way you feel. You're too humble and unworthy feeling to do that. You make every effort that you offer, almost everybody does, because of the response that you're going to get from somebody else. And other people don't like you in the revenge mode. They liked you better when you were depressed. You were a lot less trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But when you acknowledge, and so when you see, this happens to children all the time. This is the greatest abuse of all, we think, because a child is in an environment, or anybody is in an environment where they don't feel free, and then their natural call of source pulls them into that revenge, rage, anger, and then the people around them say, don't go there. It's inappropriate that you go there. God says you shouldn't go there. I'm going to take you to anger management seminars. Don't go there. And so what happens is you feel powerless. You get to revenge. You bump up against them, demanding that they don't let you go further. And so then you're just powerless, angry, powerless, angry, powerless, angry, powerless, angry, powerless, angry. And the whole time you're doing that, this is the most interesting thing about that. In all that powerless, anger, powerless, angry, powerless, angry, you're launching rockets, rockets, rockets. And that's what's making it worse. Every time somebody makes you feel powerless, or every time you feel powerless for whatever reason, you launch a stronger rocket, which makes your stream go faster. Isn't it interesting? The more abuse you take, the more you want well-being, but the more abuse you focus upon, the more you don't get to go with your well-being, and that is the epitome of abuse. Do you know that the only abuse that could ever be rendered is the abuse that is self-imposed by someone who doesn't let themselves be who they are? You like that. We like it too. In other words, that's the abuse. So what you want to say